For Congressman Ron Paul, we're going to have Stan Oakland sitting on there now. Good evening, I'm Dan Yoakum. I moved to Muscatine back in 1976 when I was looking for employment. Luckily I found it. And these days there's a lot of people looking for employment in our country. And that's one of the reasons I support Ron Paul. Ron Paul's the only true constitutional conservative in the race. He has over 30 years. Would this help if I get up here instead? Does this work? Yeah. Okay. There you go. So he has over a 30-year track record to prove it. He's been warning of the dangers of the out-of-control Federal Reserve for years. As president, he will fully audit the Federal Reserve and fight to restore sound money in America. He knows it's more than just the amount of money you have, it's the value of that money as well. And as long as the Fed can just print and spend, that value is going to continue to drop. He's the only candidate to have accurately predicted the economic mess we're currently in. He did it years before it happened. He knows what it will take to get our economy moving again, and he has a real plan to do that. His plan to restore America cuts $1 trillion in spending during his first year of office by eliminating 5 unconstitutional departments, and it balances the budget during his third year. He does this without cutting 1 penny from Social Security, veterans benefits, or national defense. He's never voted for an unbalanced budget. He's never voted to raise the debt ceiling. He's never voted to increase spending. With our national debt now over $15 trillion, our nation is at a crossroads. We must change the course and fast if our children and grandchildren are to know the type of freedoms that were intended for us for our forefathers. Many Americans have become disillusioned with the political system where it doesn't matter which party is in power. Each group uses the political system to reward their own special interests and impose their views and values on everyone through the legislative process. This process leads to division amongst the citizens as one is forced to pay for the privileges of another. When you look at the slate of Republican candidates, you see a lot of the same, except for one man. In stark contrast to the status quo, liberty draws people together. It permits people to make their own decisions, work out their own problems, build lives for themselves, take risks, and accept responsibilities. When you have liberty, it's no longer the force of government that brings about change, but the force of the idea. This is the #1 reason why I support Ron Paul. He is the champion of the Constitution. He is the only candidate committed to defending our liberties and freedoms. Our forefathers wrote in the Declaration of Independence, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These rights and liberties are further embodied in the Bill of Rights of our Constitution. Yet less than 6 months ago, President Obama ordered the assassination of 2 American citizens for exercising the right to free speech, simply because he disagreed with their speech. And I too disagreed with their speech. However, as American citizens, they are supposed to have these unalienable rights. Among them is that right to free speech protected by the Constitution. Tyranny is defined as a government in which a single ruler is vested with absolute power. When the president is allowed to kill the citizens of his own country without any charges, no trial, no jury, no due process of law, then by definition that government is a tyranny and the president is a tyrant and must go. Only one candidate spoke out against this abuse of power, Ron Paul. In fact, most of the other Republican candidates condoned this abuse of power. Ron Paul will not send our troops into harm's way without a declaration of war as required by the Constitution. Our country has fought 5 declared wars from its founding through World War II. And in between each of those wars, we've enjoyed long periods of peace and prosperity. And those wars were relatively short in duration. The longest, World War II, only lasted 4 years, compared to the mess that we find ourselves in today. Since we have failed to follow the Constitution, we have been in armed conflict continuously. There's no end in sight. Even now, they're beating the war drums for Iran. Ron Paul stands for a strong defense of our country, but he will end needless cycle of violence and armed conflict. Ron Paul is right to lie, and I'd like to quote him when he says, "I've never understood how an act of violence, killing a human being, albeit a small one in a special place, is portrayed as a precious right. If a state were to legalize infanticide, it could be charged with not maintaining a Republican form of government, which is required by the Constitution. If all life is not precious, how can all liberty be held up as important? I've become convinced that resolving the abortion issue is required for a healthy defense of a free society," end quote. In other words, either we as Americans are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, including life and liberty, or we have none of these. Mainstream media would like to choose your candidate for you. They like to paint Ron Paul as someone whose ideas do not represent the Republican Party. But a December 8th article in the River City's readers came to this conclusion. They said, "It can be strongly argued that Ron Paul's position, substantiated with an unblemished 20-year voting record, adhered to the Iowa Republican Party platform more consistently than any other GOP candidate. In fact, Dr. Paul does not even have a close second if the Iowa Republican Party platform is the measuring stick. He supports our values, he supports our liberty. I hope you will support Ron Paul." Thank you.
Will go ahead and leave for their precinct area, and then Bloomington and Lake will go ahead and stay here in the gym. So again, thanks for everybody coming. And if you have any questions, I know there's people running around that will help you. Thank you.
We've heard the campaign speeches. Now we're going to break up into our individual precincts, and we'll ballot our presidential preference poll.
I see I'm lost. I don't know.
You're okay. Now, does everybody in here have one of these little green swatches on their hand? You don't get a ballot if you don't have the green swatches. Now we'll pass them out here in a second. See where the order is in business here. Yeah, we just want to get the ball rolling. Like I said, the first thing we're supposed to do is the Pledge of Allegiance. So we have one of these flags over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, welcome everybody. My name's James Getman. I've been given the privilege to be temporary chair to get the meeting started. I guess the first order of business would be to nominate and elect a permanent chair to run the meeting. So we have nominations, volunteers to run the meeting.
I nominate Jim Getman.
Okay, a second, I guess.
Second.
Okay, how about other nominations? Come on, anybody want to do it?
Move nomination cease.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and nominated that myself, James Getman, will run the meeting, and the nominations have been ceased. So all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, I guess I got the job. Okay. Chair. Okay, now let's see, we probably could use a secretary. Do we have any volunteers for secretary?
No. Oh, bitch.
Somebody can help do the paperwork here?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, well, come on.
Big fat sucker. Put the hand on. Right?
So the next stage is going to be balloting. Well, we are allowed to have additional speaking for the candidates. If anybody want to do that, keep it brief. Everybody's good with moving forward. Okay, well, if you guys want to come forward, collect ballots, make sure you have one of these green marks. We got one.
I'll pass them around. That green mark. That's a little too back. Yes, here, I think.
Everybody got pens? Go ahead and mark Mark your ballots. Whichever your choice is.
Fold the ballots and then pass them off.
Put them in the hat. I can see,
Pass them around.
That's the hat.
Well, we got that coming up too, but it's a bag.
More. Everybody got it? Everybody got it? Hold on, start fighting.
Yeah.
Anything else? Everybody got theirs in?
All right, you make people want to come forward to observe.
I will. When you come back, I'll get back.
That looks like a marker holiday.
Yeah.
There's Shel Lockman. Rick Perry. Newt. Gingrich. In alphabetical order. There's another one. Paul. Newt. Another one for Newt. Paul. Mitt Romney. I don't have a file yet.
No.
Another one for Mitt. Another one for Mitt. I'm gonna roll here. Another one for Mitt. One for Rick Santorum. Another one for Rick Santorum. Another one for Mitt. Another one for Mitt. Another one for Rick Santorum.
How many times do we do this? Till we
No, it's just we turn in a count. Rick Perry. Rick Perry. Ron Paul. Ron Paul. Ron Paul. Ron Paul. Gingrich. Ron Paul. So I can get distribution. Ron Paul.
Okay.
Okay, so now let me see if I can find the form to tally and left on it. Why isn't there a precinct committee versus delegates? They didn't give me a tally form. I got the one that the campaign gave me to use. Well, then we gotta call it into Gene. All right.
What's your comment?
That's almost like
Got one. Yeah.
We're not there.
All right. I can do that, I guess, so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Find a place to put it. Shel Bachman. Got one. Count them again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Newt Gingrich. 5.
Can you guys see this, or is it too small?
Yeah, it's fine. 5.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Paul.
8, 9, 10, 11 for Ron Paul.
The next name will be Perry.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3 for Rick Perry.
Then Romney, and then
1,
Santor.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Romney.
What, who spelled that?
I just guessed. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Rick Santorum. And none of the above got 0.
Bachman 1, Gingrich 5, Paul 11, Perry 3, Romney 6, Santorum 4. I like to get up there. Sort of like wheeling and begging, groveling.
Harry was 3. We didn't have any for Huntsman, did we?
No, we did.
0. Santorum was 4. And Romney was 6. 6, okay. All right, now.
30 votes, 31 people.
Yeah, double check the count here.
Who didn't vote?
6,
Oh,
17,
yeah.
5.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
We'll
17,
later.
5, 22, 23, 26, 30. Okay, now that the straw poll is finished, you can leave if you choose to, but we'd like you to stick around to become delegates, central committee persons, and participate in platform development. Committee persons, people who want to serve on the county central committee. I've served before.
You don't have anything else on your plate.
Anybody else care to serve, or I can represent?
Do it again.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to do it again. Does anybody else want to serve on central committee?
Dan, you want to do it? Oh, you're
I'm hoping I'm going to be in Congress.
Yeah, I hope you are.
Yeah. Well, okay, you're going to run against.
Lopsac.
Yeah, but what's the other guy's name?
There's 4 in the primary.
Because I met the one guy up there at Davenport. And I wanted to hear
John Archer is
So he told me he's a kind of a.
he's a corporate attorney.
Yeah, that's just saying.
He's a good, he seems like a fine young man.
Yeah.
I believe to create jobs, you need guys that created jobs. So that's how I see it.
Okay. That's good. You're ready to start the campaign.
All right, so you're going to be.
Okay, we don't have any objections. I'll do central committee now. And then if anybody else would like to, I guess we do.
A rousing cheer for you. Overwhelming favor.
Okay, it's important to be a delegate to the convention because you're going to nominate the central committee people that move on up to the state and district convention. You'll be electing the people that serve on the committees, the platform committee, the rules committee, the organization committee, and of course, hopefully, if everybody likes Emily Lofgren, we want to see her go back up in there. I'm sure there'll be some new contenders too in districts. So that is kind of important to go onto the convention and meet representatives. So it's a 2-step process. The delegates that get elected here will move on to a county convention, and then they'll whittle those down a little bit and go on to district and state. It'll be the same people. Okay, we get delegate number of delegates.
You get 8, huh?
We get 8. Also, I guess the question is,
How many?
I'll be more than happy to serve as a delegate. I've done that for a long time. So,
Yeah, you're 1.
does anybody else want to be a delegate?
If you're going, try to conceal your enthusiasm.
Okay.
Dan, and you're otherwise occupied.
I hope to be.
Yeah,
I hope to be.
You'll be getting real
But
busy
you
by the
guys-
time you get to district and state. Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay. We don't have any objections. Well, we got 2 so far. Is anybody else? Okay, so we got 4 delegates. So there's no objections.
how about you?
Nina. Well, we got to go.
Here,
Well, you meet at the county convention. That would be your first
but that's
responsibility.
here, usually.
Well, I don't know if it'll be in Muscatine, but I don't know the exact location. But you'll serve as a county delegate, and you'll help elect the delegates that move forward.
of all the county people to move forward to the other conventions, and we elect the people that will serve on the committees that run the district convention. So the county convention is March 10th at 9 a.m. It says 1900 Mulberry Avenue. I wonder if that's that church that we did last time. Okay, everybody's gone. We've completed the business of the Republican Party. I'm going to call the Ron Paul campaign here, their phone number here, and see what they say about turning in our vote count. Montpelier Precinct, MO, Muscatine County, Iowa. Ballot results: Bachman 1, Gingrich 5, Paul 11, Perry 3, Romney 6, Santorum 4, for a total of 30. 11 votes for Ron Paul, yay! Almost the third, yeah. Alright, we called that again. I'll give these results to our county chair for the Ron Paul campaign, and it's been a good caucus. Let's go watch the news and then party.
Totals? Did you do your delegate totals and all that? You got to go fill out the form.
Well, I already turned it in to our county people.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. What, were you a captain?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to turn in for the poll.
I did. I called.
They're calling them in and stuff. They're doing our own independent count.
One our precinct.
What's that?
One Montpelier precinct.
That's good. I know he's winning
The
something.
one downtown ran by a landslide.
That's awesome.
Well, there wasn't a lot of people. It was like 34 votes and 19 of them were Paul, and then Romney came in second with 5. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But I had 2 precincts in one room, and the other one had a lot of people in it. It wasn't pretty. And they were like from a more upper class area. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like with Perry, they got something to finally get in there.
We'll see in our
Thank you very much, thank you. And I think you might recognize my wife. Her picture is on that cookbook. Anybody see that cookbook?
I got it!
Yeah! Well, thank you very much. What a delightful crowd. And you know, sometimes they say, well, that was a good speech. I said, no, that was a good crowd. that makes all the difference in the world. You know, we talk about it, and AJ mentioned, you know, 1 of 3 tickets out, which is obviously true, and 1 of 2 that can actually run a national campaign and raise the money. But there's nobody else that have people like you working hard and enthusiastic and believe in something.
I deserve the one-handed clap.
That is all the difference in the world. But before I continue with any more comments, I do want to bring, at least step forward, three of our chairmen. You met already, A.J. Stryker and David Fisher would step forward, as well as Drew Ivers, who's been the chairman. And they are on the Central Committee, and they have led the charge all throughout Iowa. But all I can think about in tough campaigns and all the hard work is the work you people do. It is unbelievable, the energy you have and the effort that you have made. But what makes me feel good about it is you're doing it because you believe in something. That is what's worth while.
That's huge. Because it really isn't the man, it's the idea.
That's awesome.
And when his son's ready.
But you also know that there's 2 good things. Some people say, well, you guys just do that because you believe in something or promote a cause. Certainly, but how's the best way to promote a cause? That is win elections. That's the way you promote it. Now, the enthusiasm has been unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's national. Thousands of people now have been involved, not only in Iowa, but around the country, and they're ready and raring to go. But we have to look at the wonderful changes that have occurred in our country in a positive way. The country has suffered a lot in a negative way. The economy's in trouble. Our civil liberties are being trashed. Our foreign policy has been a mess and drains us, both economically and our military forces. But at the same time, people are coming together, and we had the task, where we are very successful, is reintroducing some ideas the Republicans needed for a long time, and that is
somebody was going to fill it.
that is the conviction that freedom is popular.